That's the essence of Charlotte. Photo matters more than reality. Charlotte's friendship with the girls are complicated. There is a beautiful parallel between Charlotte and the movie Black Swan. Chasing perfection disconnects you from the things that actually make you so beautiful. She is emotionally disconnected, repressed, and afraid of her shadow. Perfectionism hides the soul, but your fullness sets it free. And maybe, just maybe, you know how that feels too. She is perfect on paper. The good girl. The graceful one, the dream wife. But behind Charlotte York's pearls and picture-perfect smile lies a woman hidden in a gilded cage, one she built herself. And maybe, just maybe, you know how that feels too. Maybe you've spent years trying to be the perfect picture, the one that always shows up put together even if your heart is falling apart. Maybe you have chased love, approval, and happiness by trying to be perfect. And here's a question to start. Who are you when you are not trying to impress anyone? We have already done therapy sessions on Samantha Jones and the chaotic duo of Carrie and Big. They're up on the channel, so please watch them, and Miranda is up next, so please subscribe so you don't miss it. But today, it's time to talk about Charlotte. Who is Charlotte York? Charlotte is this polished, well-mannered woman who always seems to do the right thing. She believes in etiquette, tradition, and a fairy tale love. She's a kind of a friend that brings gluten-free cupcakes to brunch, volunteers at school, and sends handwritten thank you notes. But beneath her refined exterior is deep, almost compulsive need for things to look just right, even when they don't feel right. Ask yourself, have you ever focused too much on appealing fine than actually being yourself? Let's talk about her story and where it all started. Charlotte comes from a good, wealthy family. And growing up in that kind of environment where appearance matter a lot, where success is expected, and emotional discomfort is often swept away under the rug, creates its own psychological challenges. Children in affluent families are often rewarded for maintaining perfect family picture, rather than expressing their authentic feelings. Love can feel conditional, tied to accomplishments and good behavior. These kids may never experience open conflict or raw emotional connection, but they learn very early how to perform stability, charm, and control. Some become perfectionists and others rebel. Many, like Charlotte, internalize the pressure and split off from their most spontaneous and messy selves. That's one of the reasons why addiction and narcissistic traits are surprisingly common among high-achieving and high-status families. When true self-expression isn't safe, the personality can fracture around the image and escape. Have you ever had to choose between being honest and being liked? Charlotte was trained to maintain her performance, hold your back straight, smile politely, be perfect, but never too much. Her worth became tied to her curated identity, that of the good girl, the perfect woman. Charlotte's whole world is about being perfect, especially when it comes to love and marriage. She's obsessed with a perfect wedding, perfect ring, and the question being popped just right. Remember that awkward moment when she told Trey that they should get married and he said, "Alrighty"? She was freaking out so much about the proposal not done right rather than the fact that they were actually gonna get married. For her, it wasn't about connection, it was about crafting her fairy tale. On the surface, it looked like a dream. Handsome husband, beautiful home, Upper East Side lifestyle. But beneath it, there was a man with Madonna whore complex and suffocating relationship with his mother. Charlotte was cast in this Madonna role, the pure wife. But that role doesn't leave room for desire, messiness, and actual emotional connection. So their intimacy died, and their relationship became a performance. At one point, they were already separating, but had a magazine photo shoot scheduled to take pictures of their perfect home. Trey showed up, smiled for the camera, played the role of the perfect husband, but in reality, their marriage was falling apart. And that's the essence of Charlotte. Photo matters more than reality. So here's a question. Are there areas of your life that look better than they feel? Charlotte's friendship with the girls are complicated, in my opinion. On the surface, she is present, polite, and supportive. But when things get hard, she often pulls away or judges her friends. When Carrie was broke and needed money, Charlotte was the one who did not offer help until Carrie asked her, and then she gave her a lecture about the fact that Carrie should be an adult and take responsibility for her life, which in my opinion, of course, is not wrong, but she wasn't there for her either. That's Charlotte. She moralizes what she cannot emotionally tolerate. She avoids realness. And honestly, I would struggle with being close to someone like this. There's often a quiet sense of judgment in the room, as if being human and being messy is somehow wrong. She's the kind of friend that makes you feel like you need to edit herself because she has been editing herself her whole life. Think about your own friendships. Who do you feel safest being real with? And who makes you feel like you need to shrink into a version of yourself that just looks good on the outside? There is a beautiful parallel between Charlotte and the movie Black Swan. In the movie, we see the true cost of perfection. The main character, Nina, can perform every move with precision, but she is emotionally disconnected, repressed, and afraid of her shadow. The white swan is delicate and pure, and the black swan is wild, messy, raw, and alive. Charlotte is the white swan, trained, polished, and restrained, but there is something lifeless in her performance. And this isn't about Charlotte, it can be any of us. Social media feeds are full of curated, perfect lives. Face-tuned photos, perfect morning routines. If you're struggling with self-worth, it's easy to believe that if you could just look like that or act like that, then finally you would be worthy. But chasing perfection disconnects you from the things that actually make you so beautiful. Your quirks, your awkwardness, your real self. So let's go back to Charlotte and her second husband, Gary. When Gary showed up, suddenly Charlotte changed. He wasn't conventionally handsome, he didn't fit her perfect picture. But with him, Charlotte finally relaxed. She laughed more, she let her guard down. It wasn't about checking off the boxes anymore. It was actually about connection between these two. When she stopped chasing the fantasy, she finally became alive. Gary saw her, and maybe for the first time, she also saw herself. So my dear viewers, perfection is a prison. Because perfection isn't real. It doesn't exist, it's just an illusion. And chasing perfection only makes you further from yourself. Charlotte York is the woman so many of us are taught to become. Beautiful, flawless, elegant, always proper. But what happens when you realize that being perfect doesn't always mean being happy? And here's the part I wish we talked about more. People like Charlotte don't fall apart in big dramatic scenes. They quietly lose themselves, bit by bit, smile by smile, filter by filter. True beauty and magnetism don't come from chasing perfection. They come from embracing the raw, unfiltered wholeness of who you are. It's not in polishing away your extremes, but in allowing space for all of them. The light and the dark, the tenderness and the rage, the laughter and the sorrow. Perfectionism hides the soul, but your fullness sets it free. So here's the question for you. Are you performing perfection or living your life? What would people see in you if you stopped trying to be so put together all the time? And would it actually be that scary? Would you feel more free, more you? What would it feel like to finally take a deep breath and stop editing yourself? If any of that resonates, that story is not just about Charlotte. It can also be about you. Let us know if you see yourself or someone you know in Charlotte. Let us know if you agree with our take on her or you disagree. Also, Shrink Happens is still experimenting with styles and formats and topics, so please let us know what you think and what would you like us to cover next. See you in the next one, and thank you for watching.